Hi, this is Colleen Pearl, the cool Crone, and welcome back to my channel. Ever since June 23rd, when Britney Spears spoke to the court, there have been all sorts of papers being filed about her conservatorship. So today I wanted to hop on and do a tarot card reading about all of the players involved and the actual court date of July 14th itself in front of Judge Penny. Now, the first set of papers that were filed were Britney actually filing papers to formally remove her father completely from the conservatorship. Then we have her father, who actually filed papers to formally request an investigation into Jody Montgomery, who is the person in charge of the conservatorship of Britney's person. Then we have Jody Montgomery asking for permission by the court or for the court to actually choose Britney a new attorney with Britney's input. Then we had Bessemer Trust, who runs the money side of the conservatorship, out and out resigning and asking the court to please replace them. That's a whole bucket of hammers that's very weird right there. And then Samuel Ingham, her longtime attorney, also resigned and filed the papers letting him know that he resigned and asking for the court to replace him as well. So we've got at least five, there may be more papers that I don't know about, that have been filed in this conservatorship issue. And so far, the judge has just said that they're all going to be heard on July 14th. So I'm going to throw cards on each of these different motions, if that's what you call them, and we'll see what we get. Okay. Okay, the first reading that we're going to be doing is to look at the papers that Britney filed to have her father absolutely removed from the conservatorship. As you probably know, Britney has not performed for 2.5 years because she says as long as her father is a part of the conservatorship, she refuses to perform. She said in court that she thinks her whole family should be put in jail and she'd like to sue all of them. And so this set of papers is very important to her. Now, a lot of tarot card readers, and I also did the astrology on Britney, and I do feel like in 2021, in this year, somehow before the end of the year, she will be, I think, pretty much completely out of the conservatorship, or she will have rearranged it in some way so that it's just basically handling her business and not controlling her person. We're focusing on the court date of July 14th, but it could happen anytime before September 2nd. September 2nd is the arbitrary date that the conservatorship was extended to. So as of now, the conservatorship is supposed to extend until September 2nd, unless something changes and the court decides to extend it again and or even indefinitely. So let's see what we have here. Ooh. Wow. So the first card is the Ten of Swords reversed. So it's not as bad as this, it's reversed, so it's just a little bit better, but this is Britney. She just feels completely abused and taken advantage of in this situation, and she just wants things to stop. So she's put her foot down in the only way that she can, which is by refusing to perform. The next card is the Temperance card. So this is how she's responding consciously to what's going on. She's trying to be moderate. She's trying to show as much sanity as possible. And she's trying to make sure that the court believes what she says, because in days past, when she has testified to the court, they simply ignored it. They didn't do anything that she asked. And in fact, she had put in papers last August to remove her father from the conservatorship, and nothing happened. They refused. They kept him on. So I think she filed new papers to ask for him to be taken out of the conservatorship. I could be wrong about that. Maybe the new papers that she filed were to end the conservatorship completely, but I know that she wants her dad out of there. And so she's just trying to act like the sane, normal person in this setup. Now, what comes up next, though, is the Queen of Wands. She is very strong. And if you remember the astrology video that I just put up, she really does hold all the power in this situation, but her power builds towards the end of the year and especially around September 2nd. So right now, it's a little bit like a seesaw. Sometimes it's her, sometimes it's them. And let's face it, Jamie Spears has been doing this for 13 years. So he's really good at manipulating this stuff. But this is Britney. And because first of all, she's a Sag and this is a wand and that's fire. So this is her. And she is holding the cards, man. She is the one in control of this. Her challenge is that people are, none of the people involved want to lose their cushy lifestyle. This is the card for having a cushy lifestyle. And nobody involved with the conservatorship wants to let that go. So this is the big challenge to her, is that she's got so many people with their hands in her pocket that she's got to fight off every single one of them in order to get free of this. And that's a lot. The next card is her subconscious thoughts. And this is the Seven of Wands, but reversed. And so this is saying that she has not quite got her footing yet. She is defending herself. She's taken the first steps to defending herself, but she needs help. And that's why I think Jody Montgomery is right. Definitely, Britney needs to choose her own attorney. I think Britney is right. She needs to choose her own attorney. And maybe once she chooses her own attorney, things will really take a turnaround. Certainly, that's the way the astrology is going for her between now and September. So this is not a bad card. It's just showing that there's an evolution. There's a process that has to be gained. Now, the next card is the Five of Pentacles, and that's showing people who are out in the cold, who are hungry, who are tired, who are poor, they don't have any food, whatever. So these are the people who are surrounding her that are just saying, well, we can't live without this. We can't get by without this. How could she do this to us? So they're going to very definitely turn the tables on her. Now, also in my astrology video, I mentioned that for the July 14th date, there would be a lot of pushback by parties in the conservatorship who stand to gain by having the conservatorship continue. And this just proves it. They don't want to lose it. They don't want to lose that gravy train. So she's got a big fight on her hands, basically. Then we have two cards. They are reversed, but I think they're a good sign. One is the Prince of, the Prince of Pentacles, good sign. And one is Strength. So now this is showing, I think this is her dad. And it's reversed, thank God. And so I think that he is losing his power in this. I think that not only is the public really turning on him, but I think the court is as well. I think his play to ask for the investigation of Jody Montgomery is very thin. And I don't believe that the court is going to agree to it unless the court is actually being paid off. I mean, you gotta think that Judge Penny, my God, the things that she's heard in there by now, and she's still just same old, next, leave the conservatorship alone, bye. So, maybe she's getting trips to the Bahamas out of this too, who knows? But I think this is Jamie Spears, and I think he's losing his power and he's being exposed for kind of the, crumb bum that he is. And then we have Strength, but it's reversed. So I think this is Britney. You notice the lion here. Now, lions are often shown on the Wands cards in this deck. And so I think this is her gaining strength. She's gaining strength. She's not quite there yet. So July 14th is going to be a disappointment for her, I think, as far as having her dad removed from the conservatorship. However, I think that judge is going to turn the tables on him, and that investigation is going to show that he was the one who set up all these horrible practices, not Jody Montgomery, and that he is the one that is also going to be investigated for where he spent his money that he got from the conservatorship. So I think this may turn the tables on Jamie Spears, and I don't think this is really good for him. And so that's having to do with Britney's motion to get him removed from the conservatorship. So the first card is the Four of Cups. So this is the situation here that is really him. Honestly, he's a little bit bored with the whole thing, but he doesn't dare let it drop because he doesn't have a job and he's sick. He needs the health care. He needs the money. He needs to maintain his lifestyle, and he's getting death threats. So right now, his focus is on his health, but he is having to fight this other battle. So it's hard for him. He doesn't want what they're giving really, but he doesn't have any way of stopping this without just becoming, you know, a bum living in a van down by the river. Now, the challenge in this is the agreement. It's that Britney, this is upside down in his reading, Britney is his cash cow and she's not playing ball. So that's his challenge, is that his little girl is finally standing up to him. Now, this is a man who is abusive, and I've been in several abusive relationships. It's hard to stand up to your abuser. It's hard to even recognize them as the abuser when you're inside that relationship. I can't tell you how many years of therapy I went through regarding this. And I'm, you know, Brittany's getting therapy by a therapist who is sanctioned by her father, basically. So I don't think that her therapists are dealing with abuse, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are dealing with it, and that's why she's strong enough to talk to them now. But I have a feeling more than that, they're talking about other junk and just writing scripts for her, which is really, really sad. But for Jamie's perspective, he's losing the best relationship he ever had in his life, which is the gravy train based on his daughter's success. The Five of Wands is here. He is in for a fight, and he may not win this fight. This card is upright. It's the Five of Wands. Wands are fire signs, remember, and Brittany is a fire sign. I don't know what sign he is. I should have looked that up. But he is in for a big, big fight. And I don't think the court's going to agree with him either. I see quite a few cards here that lead me to believe that not only is he going to be challenged on the idea of putting forth this investigation, but I think they may turn the tables on him and investigate him. The next card are his, the people around him and what's going on. And we have the Eight of Swords here. So the people around him, or maybe this is Britney, are feeling hemmed in. They're just not comfortable. You see how the people are staying inside this little circle of the swords, and yet the swords are not really holding them in. So he has something over these people. He is a bully, and he has bullied a lot of people into doing what he wants them to do for a very long time. Now, some of that bullying may have been wielded with the power of money, and some of it may have been wielded with the power of violence. He is a violent man, and he, you know, who knows? And has anybody talked about, is his alcoholism under control these days? And has it been all along? I don't know. I mean, pretty hard for a tiger to change their stripes, right? It's possible, but who knows? The next card is Justice reversed. And this is another card. See, here's the Justice card. And here it's reversed in this reading. So this is another card that tells me that they're going to turn the tables on him, and they're probably going to spotlight him for an investigation as well. And so things are just not going to go his way. Definitely he's not going to get his wish with this. All right. Now the Nine of Wands. This is the challenge to, not the challenge, this is the subconscious thoughts of what's going on. He knows he's done something wrong. He knows. That is Britney in the background, that lion with the wand sticking up from her head. She is the fire sign, the Sag. He knows that he is in for it, and he knows that he's going to lose. And that's probably Sam Azari in the forefront there, protecting her. Then we have the Six of Pentacles. So he loves the regularity of those checks coming in. He gets his little check, and Lynn gets her check, and I mean, they're all sitting there with their hands out. It's just crazy. So he loves all that stuff, and he's seeing it all about to come to an end. And he feels that he has set up a very solid, stable environment for his daughter. He believes that he really did the right thing. And I'm sure in the beginning, he really felt a calling to do that. But 13 years, man, he probably feels like, yeah, okay, I set it up and it's running like clockwork and it's on automatic. I don't think that he's really, at this point, feeling so beholden. He hasn't come in contact with her in years. He cannot see his grandkids because they've got a restraining order against him. I don't think this man is as, you know, warm and fuzzy as he makes out to be. I mean, he's a grandfather that is barred from seeing his own grandchildren. He's a father who is got a daughter who will not see him. And you notice for all the public outcry of his other daughter, Jamie Lynn, for all of her outcry, you don't see her talking about her dad too much, do you? You don't see her living with him or coming to visit him. They never mention her kids as his grandkids. No, it's all about Britney. But if there was something really great about Jamie Lynn, don't you think that Jamie would have all of those photos out in the public eye, showing everyone what a great granddad he is? So there's something very fishy going on there. Okay, now we have the Ace of Cups. This is the relationship involved, and it's reversed. And so, you know, the bloom is off the rose here. This guy is not getting what it is that he wants to get. This relationship is over. That's what the Ace of Cups reversed is telling me, that he is not going to continue to benefit off of his daughter anymore in the same way. She may give him some kind of an allowance, but it isn't going to be $16,000 a week or whatever to do, you know, the stuff that he's doing with the conservatorship. And the last card is very telling. That's the Five of Swords. So this is not going to be a happy camper. He's not going to be happy after July 14th because things will be, look at how exposed this person is. They're nailed down with these swords. They're laying out in the sun for everybody to see them, and they are just absolutely pinned down by those swords. So I think this thing for him, asking for the investigation was really a dumb move, really, really stupid, because it's going to expose him. So not only could he be taken off the conservatorship, but what if they bring up criminal charges against him? Right. Now, as we look at these cards, this is a completely different feeling. The whole energy is just feminine and smoother and just way different than the cards for Jamie Spears. First card, Four of Swords. This is her. This is what she does for a living. Now, I'm not saying that she's an angel of any kind, but she's a professional. Jody Montgomery is a professional conservator that manages the conservatorships for several clients. I don't know how many. But this Four of Wands is telling me that her gig is very above board. It's very professional. She knows how to do this. She has a routine. She has a method for handling these things. You know, she has her databases and her spreadsheets, and she keeps track of all of this stuff, and it's organized and regular. I mean, this guy is regular, balanced, together, you know, just not digging in the dirt. She, I don't think, wants any part of this dirt stuff. The challenge to her is keeping her client happy. So she has a client who is a megastar. She has a client who has been painted with the brush of bad mental illness since, what was the year, 2006, 2007. I mean, this poor girl that she represents is unable to live a normal life as a 40-year-old woman because of this conservatorship. And I'm sure that Ms. Montgomery sees that because she deals with Britney, maybe not every single day, but pretty frequently. So this is her challenge, is keeping her client happy, and she wants to keep her client happy. The next card is her client. This is Britney. She came up in the other reading too. This is Britney. Britney is the Queen of Wands. She's a Sag, she's a fire sign, and she's powerful. And Jody, I think, understands that Britney only is restricted from doing things her own way because of the conservatorship. I think Jody sees that this is a little bit ridiculous, but she was employed to do this gig. It's not her place to end or prolong or do anything about the conservatorship except for to execute her duties. Britney, kept in the dark by her lawyer, did not know that she had any say in ending this conservatorship. And I don't know what Jody ever told her, but it's not her place. Her place is just to take care of her end of things as the conservator. So this is Britney. She has an unhappy client and she knows it and she doesn't like it. Then we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups could very well represent Jody Montgomery, that she does have some feelings towards Britney. So Jody may be seeing that Britney is relying on her for some advice and some information that is not a part of her role. And I think she said that in the court papers that she filed, that it's not her role, it's not her place to find Britney another attorney, but she can help Britney submit the papers to request that the court allow her to have a new attorney that she picks. Jody just appears to be a woman trying to help another woman in this instance. So that's nice. That's really good. Now, the next card is the Hierophant. So this is the judge. This is the judge who is just trying to follow the rules. Now, we still, the jury is out. I love that. The jury is out about whether this judge is clean. I mean, is the judge down in the dirt with Jamie Spears, or is she kosher? Is she dealing with a full deck? We don't know. We'll probably know better after July 14th. But since she already rejected the motion to take Jamie off of the conservatorship from the papers filed last August, I'm thinking I don't know. I don't know what information she has. And this is what all of the commentators keep saying on the little clips in the news, is that we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what is in that record that tells people involved with this conservatorship to say, that tells people in the conservatorship that Britney is not capable of, say, hiring her own attorney or making her own decisions. Somewhere, somebody wrote that a long time ago and it's stuck. And the court is just going with that. And I don't know. I think it's wrong. I think it's just flat out wrong. And I'm hoping that the judge will see that it's wrong too. And then we have, again, the Four of Pentacles. So again, Jody, just like the father, tried to set up a routine for Britney, a routine for her case, to handle things in a manner that would be soothing, frankly. I mean, anybody that has had a jumbled up life in reality knows that when you try to put your feet back on the ground, it really helps to just have things happen in a routine, happen in a very regular manner. And that's what she's tried to provide for Britney. Next card, Death reversed. What does this say? This says, not quite yet, not today. Being able to get that new attorney, they're going to fight it. People in the conservatorship are going to be saying, no, this isn't right. She's not capable of choosing her own attorney. And somebody's going to have to make a ruling on this. They're going to have psychiatrists and other doctors come forward and say, yes, she is capable, before they will let her have this attorney. And that's a shame. That is just a shame. Unless the judge all of a sudden, sees Jesus and says, my God, the girl who gave that testimony is in a conservatorship. I had no idea that she was that cogent, and just let her off. I mean, that would be great if the judge, finally just kind of saw what was going on. And then we have the Chariot. So the Chariot is also in reversed. And so things are not quite moving the way Ms. Montgomery wants them to move at this time. So I don't think that I don't know what they're going to do, though, because Britney needs an attorney to represent her rights. And she's going to, as long as the dad is in there and she doesn't have an attorney, what it means is Britney's not doing any work. And so that money's just pouring out of the bank account with nothing coming in, and nobody in the conservatorship really wants that. So they might be at more of a standstill here with this than anything else. Then we have the King of Wands. It reminds me of Sam. It reminds me of Britney's boyfriend. I don't know what sign he is, and I don't really know who this is. This could be the new attorney for Britney if they let her choose one. And perhaps this is, now he is reversed. He does come up reversed in the reading. So perhaps Jody Montgomery and Britney have chosen an attorney. They're just going to try to get the court to approve him on July 14th. Or in the period between July 14th and September 2nd, perhaps they will petition the court to put forward the name of this attorney and say, this is the attorney that we really want. Three of Cups. So I think that Jody Montgomery actually is really working with Britney. This is the final outcome of their relationship. She may not be an angel, but I do not think that she is corrupt. I think she really wants the best for her client, and I think that's really what she's working for right at this time. Well, these cards are very interesting too. Bessemer Trust, who has put in their resignation. Now, usually a piece of the conservatorship, a party as important as the main management party for her business, would not just resign. They would request a substitute, or they would request permission to step down with the understanding that maybe they would help find a replacement. But in this case, Bessemer just said, we're out. You got to find a replacement, which is kind of unusual, very unusual. The thing that they were quoted as saying is that we were under the impression that this was Britney's choice, but after hearing her testimony on the 23rd, it's clear that this is not her choice. It's clear that she wants out of the whole thing. So that's not us. We're not into forcing people. And also the law firm Loeb and Loeb, same thing with Sam Ingham. So here's the cards for Bessemer. So the first card up is Justice. So they're going to definitely, they're just saying, in the eyes of the law, this is wrong. What we were being asked to do was wrong, and we bow out. This is the way we're handling this. And that's a very strong opening card for them. And the challenge to that is the King of Wands. The King of Wands came up in just the last reading at the end for Jody Montgomery. So perhaps this King of Wands is another attorney or somebody who comes in to really say, look, this conservatorship is crap. It does not stand. So I'm thinking that maybe not on the 14th, but eventually this is the attorney that Britney gets. And this is the attorney who says, yeah, they were right to bow out. I would have had them bow out if I were on the case. Then we have the Four of Swords. This is usually a card, again, of strong foundation, of regularity, of keeping things kosher, keeping things practical, keeping things safe and solid. But notice it's swords. So this is ideas. Hello, laws, ideas, things on the books. So what's going on with this card is Bessemer is saying, we were studying all of the aspects of her business, and we would have set up everything really, really well for her to make more money. Her father, we don't know why you need him in the mix, because we have more expertise on our side than he ever can have, because we're a whole fleet of people. So Bessemer is really saying, look, this is what is needed to manage her affairs, but not if she doesn't want it. So see you later, basically, is what they're saying. This is what we would have done. Now, the next card up is Star. So I think people are going to look at the example of Bessemer Trust and say, yeah, that was the right thing to do, because Britney is a star. And Bessemer probably also is somebody that after the conservatorship is dismantled, Britney may go back to them and say, hey guys, you had a great plan for my business. Could you please help me manage it? And she would hire them outright, not going through the conservatorship, which would be much happier for everybody involved, because she is a star. So watch for this. She very likely is going to go back and ask them to help her. There may be some sort of legal reason why they cannot do that, but she's going to ask somebody like Bessemer to come back and help her, because she's got a huge fortune to manage. She can't do that by herself. Nobody could. And then we have the Three of Wands, but reversed. So this is a little bit of a rocky road for them. I'm seeing here that the court may try to force them into doing 6 months of work to just keep things rolling until decisions can be made, until this attorney can kick them out. But things are going to be a little rocky for them. And the court is not going to be very happy that they just out and out resigned. But you know what? It was the right thing to do. It really was. Integrity-wise, it was the perfect thing to do. And then we have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is somebody who's involved in this nonsense. It's not her dad, who is fair, who's a thinking person, who has looked at this situation with compassion and said, yeah, we're not taking part in this. And so this is probably somebody higher up in, or very high up in Bessemer Trust. It could be somebody at Loeb and Loeb, who is also a part of the thing with Sam Ingham. Could be somebody who's just got a real bird's eye view of this whole thing and is saying, this whole situation stinks to high heaven. You should walk away from it, distance yourself as much as you can because it's bad. So that's what this guy is saying. And then we have the Six of Pentacles, which we had in the first part, but reversed. So this is the card for the cash cow, right? This regular income that everybody loves, but it's reversed. And this is what Bessemer is giving up. They are giving up this very, very regular cash cow. However, they have integrity. They don't want to get this money under false pretenses, and they're too shrewd of business managers to ever allow even the appearance of impropriety to touch them, which most professional finance managers and attorneys should be. They should have that much integrity. And the final card is the Ace of Pentacles. And so this again leads me to believe that in the end, once the conservatorship is dismantled, the Bessemer Trust will be asked to come back in and manage Britney Spears' finances by Britney Spears, not by a conservatorship. So very interesting there. So they were right they knew, they were smart. They knew that just resigning and trying to back off would be the best play if they ever wanted to get this business back. Interesting, very interesting move on Bessemer Trust part. This is the first card, the Chariot. This is for Sam Ingham. And the Chariot is reversed. So I think what's going on here, these cards are very reminiscent of other cards we've seen in the other readings. I think that he thought if he did the same thing that Bessemer did, that he would also look like a good, upstanding guy. I don't think Sam Ingham is a completely good, upstanding guy. I think he was in fairly deep with Jamie Spears. And the other attorney's name, Wallet. Hello, his name was Wallet. And those two guys were the initial attorneys, along with Loeb and Loeb, as kind of backup for the voluminous amount of material they had to keep track of. So I don't like this as the first card up for him. It shows me that, I mean, if this guy could disappear in the middle of the night, he would. He is so up to his eyeballs and in this and not, he's not up to it. He's just not up to the task, and he's making money hand over fist. But he's got to realize too that this whole rigmarole with keeping her trapped in this is just a nightmare. Now, we don't know what we don't know. He could have been telling her from day one, hey, Britney, you can go ahead and end the conservatorship. But we don't know what he said after that statement, right? You can go ahead and end the conservatorship, but your daddy's not going to like it. I mean, he could have been also throwing things out there that were very manipulative and abusive. And she comes from an abusive household, so she would have responded to that very, very well. In fact, I think a lot of the things that the way she couched things in her statement on June 23rd shows just how brainwashed she is by the whole conservatorship thing. She does not believe that she really has these rights anymore. So I don't like this as the first card. This is really not pretty. Then the challenge to this is also a card I don't like for this. It's the Two of Pentacles, but again, it's reversed. So I think that he's been taking the easy money for way too long. and he probably has a pocket full or a garage full of cash. I think the guy can retire on the money that he's made on the Britney Spears estate, and he doesn't really need to worry about it anymore. Does he care about this girl? Not from what I can see in the cards. This is not his favorite thing. And yet she has been his client for 13 years. And the first like 10 years, I think, was with that guy Wallet. So he didn't have to deal with her probably so much directly, but now he is, and he doesn't like it. Okay, then we have the Nine of Cups. Now the Nine of Cups is a card that shows that he's kind of getting his wish. So him getting out of this thing is really what he wants. He wants to be far away from this. He's done. He's completely done. He's done with Jamie Spears. He's done with Jody Montgomery. He's done with Britney Spears. He really doesn't want to have anything to do with this anymore. So what's coming up for him? Five of Swords. I think just like Bessemer Trust, he may be pulled back by the courts to finish up some assignments that maybe he didn't do very well. Or he could be on the hook with the court. Remember that investigation request, they may be investigating him too, because he has not done his job very well if his client really didn't know that she could end the conservatorship by filing paperwork. And clearly, no matter how many times he said it, she did not understand it. So he was required by law to get her to understand it or deem her completely incompetent. And as we know, that girl ain't incompetent. She's far from it. So I think he's got something coming in this situation. The Eight of Wands is here. It's reversed. It's going to feel like this takes a bazillion years for it to be resolved, but actually it's going to be resolved pretty quickly. It's going to be resolved in the next few months. And mainly it's going to be resolved because Ms. Spears finally got a chance to speak in court. And then we have the Magician. So you watch when he starts getting investigated, when he starts talking in the court, this guy, just like Jamie Spears, he's going to be pulling out all the stops about how he helped Miss Britney, how he went to bat for her, how he explained things to her. And the poor sick little girl just didn't understand. I do not like this guy now that I've done the cards on him. I just don't get a good feel from him. I get the feeling that he would do anything in the world to keep the money flowing and anything in the world not to have to be bothered too much about the needs of Britney Spears. I'm just getting a very bad vibe off of him. Then we have the Emperor. Now the Emperor is not the judge. I think the Emperor is Jamie Spears. He's the guy who's really calling the tune. And this is reversed. Like I said, the power for Jamie Spears is waning. His power is just dripping out of his shoe. He's not going to have any power left. And so neither is Sam. And Sam just up and resigning like this, again, just like Bessemer, you know, usually you request to be let go and substituted of the court. You don't just tell the court, oh, I'm resigning. That's very kind of insubordinate, like not protocol. But this case is not protocol. So you know, maybe that's why he did it. But I think he copied Bessemer. I think he saw the very smart move that Bessemer made, because if Bessemer came off looking like a Prince Charming, being so noble, they wouldn't take it on because it wasn't what she wanted. I think he thought if he did the same thing, he would be painted with the same brush. And it's not going to work for him because he's a creep. And the final outcome bears me out. He is a creep. He's going to have a fight on his hands. He is not going to walk away from this cleanly. There is going to be a big kerfuffle. He's going to have to show things. He may very well be investigated, and he may fight that, or he may have a big fight with Jamie Spears. Who knows? But one way or another, Sam Ingham is not going quietly into that good night. He is going to have a struggle when it comes to getting out from under this role that he has to play in the conservatorship. Oh my God, this is great. These cards are amazing for her. Look at this. The first card up for her, justice for her. Oh my word. Oh, I'm going to cry. This is great. I just need a minute. This is great. Oh my God, I got all verklempt. Okay, so you know, her challenge has been her happiness and getting her life back. And oh my God, I think the court is really going to look closely at ending this conservatorship. I think we may be like 10 giant steps towards that goal. Well, here we have the Prince of Cups reversed, and I don't know who that is. That could be her boyfriend, it could be Sam Ingham, it could be another attorney, I don't know. But the Prince of Cups reversed is a person who cares, but is not telling you. They have a secret. And oh, that's what it is. It's the secrets. Okay. So she has more secrets to share. And she may be holding on to those secrets as kind of a weapon to use if she needs them in court. So, oh, very interesting. Okay. And then we have the Ace of Cups, but it's reversed. And that's the end of a relationship. That is the end of a relationship. And that may be the breaking with her family. You know, if this thing really does come to an end, you better believe she is done with her family because they did her dirty. They did not support her in this. They did not help her in this. So that's where that thing goes. And then here's Britney, and she showed up in what, her dad's reading, that she's strong. She holds all the cards. She is the one in control, and she is the one who's powerful. So yeah, she's gonna, so I guess she is going to be able to pick her own attorney at least, and maybe even end the darn conservatorship. Because here's the Tower. And in this instance, I'm very glad to see the Tower, because that could mean the destruction and obliteration of the whole conservatorship. That's amazing. So if not the whole conservatorship, at least one aspect of the conservatorship is going to be completely destroyed as a result of what happens on July 14th. So you may not hear the judge say, okay, we're dissolving the conservatorship as of now, bang. No, that's probably not what's going to happen. But as a result of the judge's decisions, and I think she has several decisions to make that day, you may see the beginning of the unraveling or the ending of the actual conservatorship. Yay, hooray. Boy, that goes in line with the astrology as well. And then we have the World. This means a chapter is coming to an end. This means that things are coming to a close. So maybe the dad is let go from the conservatorship. That would be fantastic if he was removed. And this is the end of a story for her. This is the end of a chapter, the end of a cycle. Yay, hooray. Oh my God, I really did start crying. Hold on a second. And then the final card is the Chariot. So things will move pretty quickly. Once the Tower, oh, look at all these major arcana. She's got Justice, Strength, the Tower, the World, and the Chariot. So once these things really start kicking in, and again, it can be, all of this can be as the result of the judge's decision. It will not necessarily occur on July 14th, although it could. I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It really, really could. All right. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, now Britney is just my little fairy, so I have to pull some fairy oracle cards for her. I'll pick 3. 1, 2, 3. These are so cute. Okay, this first one says winter. The answers to your prayers and affirmations are fully realized in the winter months. Yeah, so this goes along with the astrology, because September 2nd, astrology is just amazing for her. And July 14th, the astrology is challenging, frankly, to her. But September 2nd, amazing, positive astrology for her. And by her birthday, it just keeps rolling, like really, really good stuff for her up until the time her birthday. She's free, and her birthday is December 2nd. So that's, oh, I should show you the card. So that's this, the winter. These are the Doreen Virtue messages from your fairies cards. So that's the first one. And then we have connect with nature. You're rejuvenated and inspired by spending time outdoors. And you know, she has that big, beautiful yard, but I think she built all that for her boys. So if she could have her boys with her and just run around in their yard or just lay out by the pool or whatever, she would just be in heaven with that. And that's that card. And then the next card will make you laugh. She hasn't been, I mean, I know she works out and everything like that, but she hasn't been dancing those grueling shows where she's like rehearsing 10 hours a day and then she does like a 2-hour show each night and she's just dancing her ass off. And the next card is get some exercise. As your body becomes stronger, you begin to feel stronger in all ways. That cracks me up. She's probably the strongest person we all know. Oh, that's amazing. So that's the reading on Britney Spears. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm certainly going to be watching the court on July 14th, and maybe I'll do another reading after July 14th for the prelude to September 2nd. Thank you so much. Bye.